This is the Minecraft account X. It is one of only 2 remaining Minecraft accounts with a single character username, created almost 15 years ago through a long-lost exploit. It was owned by a Mojang employee named Mark, who anonymously and secretly traded it for $100,000 in Magic the Gathering cards in 2023, in a deal done behind closed doors so he wouldn't get in trouble with Microsoft. The account is now worth likely around $1 million US, but 3 other accounts are still more valuable. This is just one example of the few Minecraft accounts with rare usernames, odd or one-of-a-kind capes, as well as unobtainable low character usernames that sell secretly in deals behind closed doors, and today I'll be revealing to you the roughly 50 most expensive Minecraft accounts, how much they sold for, and why. This information took me weeks to gather and isn't publicly available whatsoever, as many of the individuals involved in these deals are cybercriminals like Greavy's, the famous 250 million Bitcoin thief who owned $400,000 in Minecraft accounts using illegally obtained money, who don't want to risk Mojang banning their accounts. This right here is a Minecraft account named Sword. Not only does it have a rare or OG username, which is a username that is a short, commonly used word, but it also happens to have 4 Minecon capes. This type of account is known as a multi-cape OG account, as not only does it contain a rare or one-of-a-kind name, which is already valuable enough by itself, but also multiple capes that could only be obtained by attending Minecon in person back in 2011 to 2016, and can no longer be bought. And this is the first category of accounts we will be discussing in this video, which will be split into multiple parts, with the most expensive accounts at the end of the video. In 2024, the account Sword with all 4 Minecon capes would sell for $80,000 US. However, in a bizarre scenario, not long after the account was sold, it was banned from Minecraft multiplayer and had its capes removed, losing a lot of its value. And how do I know that, as well as all the other behind the scenes information you'll see in this video? Well, it's thanks to 2 anonymous individuals involved in the OG accounts community, one of which is an active member of the community Grave, the biggest online Telegram community where high tier accounts are bought and sold. Poison, a triple Minecon cape OG, has sold for around $100,000, alongside other triple account OG usernames Fade, Ghoul, and Pokemon, which all individually sold for 100k as well, which is generally the value of OG usernames with 3 Minecon capes. But things quickly get more expensive when you add more capes and even more desirable usernames. Kiwi, a 4 cape OG account, sold for around $120,000 and is now valued at $200,000. Drug, a 2 cape account but with a uniquely special username, sold for around 130k. And this is what's interesting about the Minecraft account market. It's the extreme variety in factors which make accounts valuable. Swag, an account with no special capes but a very special username, sold for $80,000 and then later around $130,000. Crazy, another account with no Minecon capes, sold for $180,000, as did another account named Dead. 2 very cool usernames valuable enough just by themselves to pull 6 figures. And not everyone sells either, because some of the individuals who own and buy these accounts are already extremely wealthy, often from less than legal means. Many are offered life-changing money for their accounts and actually decline selling them. A good example of this is an account named Dog, which has 4 Minecon capes that is still owned by its original owner, of which has declined offers as high as $400,000 for the account. Absolutely insane. But not as insane as the account Cry, a very valuable 3-character OG username with 4 Minecon capes that is sold for 250k, 260k, and 300k, with the current owner, an individual who owns multiple valuable accounts, declining offers of up to $550,000 for the account. Which might lead you to think, while there has been some insanely high offers, what is the most a Minecraft account has ever actually sold for? And that title goes to the account Hey, an account with 2 Minecon capes but also 3 extremely rare official Mojang developer capes, which sold for $400,000. That account has since lost its 3 Mojang capes, however, something we'll get into later in the video. Now, there are multiple cape OG accounts which would be worth a lot more, such as Fox, which has all 5 Minecon capes, as well as a special extremely rare Cobalt cape, which we'll also get into soon. And then there's also Red, another 5 Minecon Cape OG account, but both have since been locked by Mojang and thus cannot be accessed or sold anymore. Both of these accounts would be worth about 600 to 700,000 each if they were not locked. Which, speaking of, how and why do accounts get locked anyways? Well, you see, buying and selling Minecraft accounts is actually against the game's EULA, and as such, if Mojang ever sees high tier accounts exhibiting suspicious behavior like login and email credentials changing often or different logins in different countries, there's a good chance that these accounts will be locked. This is why buying these rare Minecraft accounts is done mostly in secret, as the less people that know about an account being sold, the less likely it is to be locked. I was told that going through support to get an account unlocked is dubious at best and not exactly reliable, so if you are unlucky, you could drop a few $100,000 just for your account to be locked. It's a risky market to invest in, that's for sure. We will now move on to unique cape accounts. Most of the accounts we just talked about contained Minecon capes, which while rare, still have population numbers in the thousands for each cape. But there are Minecraft accounts with capes only owned by a dozen or so people, or even only one person total. First though, how much would a Minecraft account which has all 5 Minecon capes actually sell for if it wasn't locked like Fox and Red? Well, due to how few of these accounts actually exist, there are only 2 left in the community today, Wham and Andrew KM. Wham sold for $150,000 half a year ago, and Andrew KM, which was actually the Minecraft account with the most capes in existence if you exclude Minecraft developer Mark's account, that had a total of 21 capes, also sold for around $150,000. This account was originally owned by a server owner of the same name, of which has been running his server, EcoCityCraft, since 2011, one of the oldest servers left in the game. The next account we have here is Melon, which is worth about $5,000. However, the more interesting thing about Melon, or rather I should say melons in general, is this video sponsor, Melon Sandbox. Similar to Minecraft, Melon Sandbox is a physics-based sandbox game where you can upload a variety of creations to a workshop that anybody can download. You can even make money by selling your creations here. It's all very cool. The game has a chip system where you create mods and minigames within Melon Sandbox itself, of which you can then obviously buy and sell. Here is my favorite map, Dust 2, one of, if not the most famous maps from Counter-Strike, playable right here in Melon Sandbox. How good is this? There are an abundance of these maps and minigames, so you'll never get bored. There's even maps and minigames that you can play with other players together in multiplayer. Check out Melon Sandbox using the link below. It's completely free to download and play, and there is also a link to Melon Sandbox's YouTube channel where you can see a bunch of creations. There are only 24 accounts in existence that have a cape known as the Cobalt Cape according to capes.me, a Minecraft account and cape database. This is a cape that was given out to players who won competitions back in 2016 for Mojang's other game, Cobalt. Accounts with this cape are generally worth around $100,000, and majority of the owners of these accounts have received offers around this amount, but most are owned by collectors who do not sell them. Fox, Nobleman, and Akonatin are all accounts which also had all or almost all Minecon capes alongside a Cobalt cape, making them extremely valuable, but have since all been locked. The only Cobalt account left in the community with multiple Minecon capes is Venom. Venom is worth around $300,000, although the owner strictly demands £1 million, so the account has not been sold and likely won't for some time with that price. And one other Cobalt account which has the name Lelouch, the name of popular main character from the anime Code Geass, which is really good, you should all watch it, is likely worth around $250,000. Next we have Scrolls capes, of which only 12 accounts in existence have. This cape was given out to players who earned first place on the Scrolls weekly ladder 5 separate times in 2014, and Scrolls is Mojang's digital card game they created over 10 years ago. Since there are half as many Scrolls capes as there are Cobalt capes, these accounts are worth a bit more, generally around $150,000 each, but there is only one left in the community named Hollow Foil, which previously sold for $120,000, now likely worth $200 to $250k. There is also an account named Billy K, which has a unique one-of-one turtle cape given to him as a reward from Jeb for being the player to suggest adding turtles to Minecraft, which were added back in 1.13, as well as the account Drolkus, which has the one-of-one Prismarine cape, a cape also given by Jeb to this player for creating their own Prismarine block texture for the chisel mod rather than modifying Mojang's textures, which is quite an odd reason. These two accounts are the only one-of-a-kind cape accounts left, as all the others, like AkronMan1, who had a cape given to him by Notch for being the 1 millionth person to buy Minecraft, were stolen by hackers throughout the years and locked by Mojang. Billy K and Drolkus are worth about $300,000 each today, but have never been sold. We are now continuing into the very special territory of low character accounts. However, let me first show you this account, which is worth at minimum one press of the subscribe button. Make sure to do that. Getting info for this video was harder than usual. No pressure, of course. Anyways, if you didn't know, when you make a Minecraft account, your username cannot be less than 3 characters long. But there exist a variety of Minecraft accounts with 2 character usernames, and even one, as we'll later get into. So how is that possible? Well, over a decade ago, during Minecraft's very early days, there was a time when there were no username length requirements. Even when username length requirements were added, these accounts still remained and were able to be used, migrated to Mojang and then Microsoft, and kept. However, there are very few of these accounts left today, since after so many years, many were lost or locked, and as such, they can fetch a big premium. Any random combination of 2 characters as a username is worth around $30,000. If the 2-character combination is only 2 letters, then it's worth around $50,000, and if it's only numbers, then the accounts are worth around $200,000, since there are only 5 left in the community: 00, 05, 07, 09, and 24. 24 is the only account still left for sale, and has sold for $200,000 in the past. 2-character accounts get even more valuable when you add in capes, as well as special character combinations. 3W and N0 were both 2-character 2 Minecon cape accounts, which both sold for around $120,000 before being locked. If they weren't locked, they would be worth around $250,000 today. G7, a 1 Minecon cape account, has sold for $120,000. MB, a 1 cape account, has sold for $300,000, probably worth more because MB is the abbreviation for my bad. 07, a 1 cape account, also sold for $300,000, which I was told was bought by someone born in 2007, which is why it sold for such a premium. And finally, the unique combination PC, with 1 Minecon cape, the oldest and rarest from 2011, also sold for $300,000. Outside of that, the only 2-character account left with multiple Minecon capes is EZ, which has 3. This account is owned by Notch's ex-wife, Ellen Zetterstrand, whose initials are EZ, but coincidentally, that character combination also happens to be one which is more desirable. She is not selling the account though, and has declined offers as high as $400,000 before, with the account likely worth around $500,000, if not more today. We then have a few even more special 2-character accounts known as 2-character repeaters. These are accounts which also only have 2 characters, but the 2 characters are the same, thus why they are called repeaters. If you thought 2-character accounts were rare, then these are significantly more rare, and there are very few left today. The account XX sold for $140,000 some time ago, but has been locked for over a year, likely worth significantly more now. The account 00 sold for an undisclosed amount a while ago, with its owner declining offers as high as $500,000. And keep in mind, both of these accounts did not have any Minecon capes. So what if one of these repeater accounts actually did? Well, the account BB, which had a Minecon cape, sold for $8,000 years ago, and was actually featured in a similar video to this one that I made 4 years ago in 2021. The market has since gotten significantly more valuable, and this account is worth about $500,000 today. There is another category of Minecraft accounts that is notably riskier to buy and sell: former Mojang employee accounts. For those of you who didn't know, all Mojang employees get given a special Mojang Studios Minecraft cape. Before July 2021, they actually got a different cape known as just the Mojang cape, before Mojang rebranded into Mojang Studios. And when Mojang introduced this new Mojang Studios cape, all accounts that had the old Mojang cape also got the new one, even including employees accounts who no longer worked there, creating what's known as double red Mojang cape accounts. There's more to it though. If you were a Mojang employee before October 2015, you were instead given the original Mojang cape, known now as the classic Mojang cape. If you had this cape, once again, even if you no longer worked at Mojang, you were still given the 2 new red capes, creating what's known as triple Mojang cape accounts. According to NameMC, there are about 211 accounts with the Mojang cape, 168 with the Mojang Studios cape, and only 27 with the Mojang Classic cape. Accounts with 2 red Mojang capes are worth about $20,000, and accounts with all 3 Mojang capes about $40,000, all sold by former Mojang employees. Now you might be thinking, isn't that pretty low for such a rare cape? And there's a good reason for that. Since these accounts were owned by former Mojang employees, they are much more prone to being locked by Mojang if they detect any suspicious behavior, like name changes. And since they are at higher risk of being locked and also don't have rare usernames, they are a much riskier investment, with those who do buy them keeping the account names private. I was told there are about 6 to 10 of these accounts in the community, but was not told their usernames as they are very sensitive accounts. That being said, in the past, someone purchased a 3 cape Mojang account and put the OG username Wealthy on it, now that's a flex, who declined offers of up to $200,000 for the account before Mojang caught on and removed the 3 Mojang capes from it, nuking its value. It's a similar story for the account Jewel that also had a Minecon cape, as well as all 3 Mojang capes which were removed, likely worth similar. There was also an account called Carnalizer, owned by a former Mojang employee who had the 2 red Mojang capes, as well as a Scrolls cape as he also worked on Scrolls, who sold the account for $200,000. The account did get locked but then got unlocked, however the capes were all removed, making it worthless today. And one final example, the account named Grum, owned by a former Minecraft developer of the same name, sold quite recently for an undisclosed amount. Not only did this account have 3 Mojang capes as well as 4 Minecon capes, but it also had the very special property where the account in-game would always be rendered upside down, something which only that account and Minecraft developer Dinnerbones account have, a one of 2. You can also name a mob in-game with these names to turn them upside down. As I mentioned, this account was sold and then found in-game on Hypixel, where it also had the unique Hypixel rank called Mojang, and was in fact upside down. This is a super unique account and could somewhat give you a competitive advantage on PvP servers like Hypixel. Not long after the account was sold, it had its capes removed and potentially locked, although it's not known for sure. Apparently, the value of such an account is hard to evaluate due to the immense risk associated with buying it, but if such risk wasn't present, the account would likely be worth around $500,000. We are now at the final category of this video, the most valuable and the most rare Minecraft accounts in existence. But first, a special mention. The account deadmau5, owned by famous music producer of the same name, has special cosmetic ears that only his account has that are actually hard-coded into the game. Notch gave deadmau5 this special cosmetic feature as he was an active player of the game back in 2010 and 2011. Now, I was told that the account has been stolen in the past, but was recovered by deadmau5, and if the account were to be sold, it likely would be locked pretty quickly, but without that risk, it's likely worth anywhere from 300 to 500k. Now, we've talked about 2 character accounts in this video, but what about 1 character accounts? You see, back when there were no character restrictions on usernames, you could also make accounts with just 1 character, but due to the limited nature of characters, there were only ever very few of these in existence. One of these 1 character accounts, just the letter X, was owned by Minecraft developer Mark. Mark owns the only Minecraft account in the game with every single cape to ever exist, but since that account is so well known and high tier, he probably could never sell it. But lesser known is the fact that Mark owned a variety of other valuable accounts including X. As I was told, Mark, using an anonymous email and identity, sold the X account and Creeper account for around $100,000 worth of Magic the Gathering cards back in 2023. The only reason we know it was him who sold it was because he mentioned he owned these accounts on Twitter back in 2020. It's clear he didn't want anybody to know it was him who sold it, likely because as a current Mojang employee, he could get in trouble for directly acting against the guidelines. Mark may have screwed up in another way though, as the account today is likely the most valuable account there is, and the current owner of the account, who also owns other valuable accounts like OO and BB, has declined offers as high as $800,000 for it, wanting $1 million. So at minimum, this account is likely worth $800,000 to $1 million, and will probably only increase in value since it's the only Minecraft account of its kind. Or is it? You see, as it turns out, there is one other remaining 1 character account, F. This account has never been owned by a Mojang employee like X, and as a matter of fact, the owner isn't known at all. Nobody has been able to contact the owner or find them, but the account was migrated to a Microsoft account a few years ago, so they likely still are somewhat active, or at least were. Since unlike X, this account has no ties to Mojang, its risk of being locked is even lower, meaning this account is likely the most valuable Minecraft account in existence, yet the owner is probably none the wiser. Imagine not even realizing you own Minecraft's most valuable account that is potentially worth 7 figures. And F isn't the only account with unknown or missing owners. 2 other very rare accounts, 69 valued at $400,000 and Devil valued at $250,000, also have unknown owners, and there are likely many more out there still. F may be the most valuable account left today, but it's not the most valuable account to ever exist. You see, a few years ago there also existed 2 other one-character accounts, 8 and G. 8 contained 4 Minecon capes, and G contained 3, making them even better than X and F, but both are now locked. Today, these 2 accounts would likely be worth even more than X and F at $1 million plus, making them the most valuable Minecraft accounts to ever exist that will never be sold. And that wraps it up. I hope you enjoyed today's video. It took a lot more digging than usual to get information, so be sure to subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching.